Okay, I think we are good to go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Death Valley region of California, where we're having a pretty nice night. A little bit of breeze here and there, but nothing too bad. We had a cold front blow through a couple days ago, and we've had some beautifully cool weather these last couple days. Highs in the 70s even, so it's been really a nice treat for us out here. And but tonight we got a nice calm night, a nice calm clear night. Sort of the backside of the storm is always a nice clear night for us. So tonight we got a bit of a gap in the weather, and a nice night for some astronomy. So we're gonna jump on that. Okay, so let me turn off. Well, before I do that, let me get up something I always forget to do is show you guys my setup, right? Excuse me, from the get-go. I'm also overcoming a cold, so which I had a couple weeks ago, and so all that's left is this dry little annoying cough. So I apologize ahead of time for that one. But let me show you my setup first. And that would be this, which is an 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope with a f6.3 reducer on the back. So I'm running it right about focal length, focal ratio of 6, about a little over 1200 millimeters of focal length. And I'm using a 183 camera, and it's all riding on ZWO AM5 mount. So, and then I'm sitting behind here with my scope and whatnot, and showing you guys hopefully some pretty nice pictures. So, and all of course riding on my spare no expense cinder block pier. So first thing we got going here is I've got the our observing list for tonight. We're doing the April observing EAA Observers Challenge. And let me, in fact, get that up here. Here you go, there, and the April Challenge. So, got a nice list here, mostly galaxies, because it is, of course, galaxy season. But we've got a few globs and a couple planetaries in there as well, which is always nice. So, I've got them all kind of laid out in order here. I actually wanted to start with the globular clusters, but unfortunately the globular clusters are really low. They're here and here, so they're very low in my eastern horizon. So I wanted to start with them, but they're actually the things I should be ending with. But the sky isn't completely dark yet, so I was hoping to start. So we'll start with the this glob here, NGC 5466, the snow globe cluster. And I should already be on it. So let's just start our stack. See if we aren't on this. And let's reset all this stuff. Reset all that stuff. Nothing else should be needed to check. Alright, tonight I'm going to be doing 60-second sub-exposures, which is kind of normal for my YouTube live streams. Although this is a globular cluster, so you know what? I should be doing much shorter exposures. Star-based globs and clusters and individual stars are very bright objects, so they don't need much exposure. Okay. Why am I not? Oh, hold on. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, okay. Let's clear this and start over again, because this is a mush up of... There we are. That's a bit better. Okay. Let's do this again. There we go. Oh, I know what I have not done here. I have not put my flat in. Shoot, which flat is it? Which flat is it? Where is my document? My document has gone away. Okay. 5, 12, 27, 323. Yes, that is correct. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay. So we need to start over again. Hopefully that'll look a little bit better. It's still pretty blown out. All right. Come on. Pretty grainy. Yeah, well, that's about right. Okay. I'm not sure why it's so grainy. And it's rejecting subs. Why is it rejecting subs? Why are we rejecting subs? Less than 3 stars, failed to align, failed to calculate, could not align. Less than 3 stars, cannot align. Why am I not seeing any stars? I don't know why why the sub-exposures are not seeing any stars. Okay. Let's go back to a 60-second exposure. Let's see what happens if I go to a 60-second exposure. What's going to happen? It's usually way too bright, but I'm not really sure. 15-second at 53 gain. Oh, wait, you know what? I can't do that one. No, you can't do that one. Okay, so that was a mistake. All right, so we got to go back here to this, reload, and start all over again. Sorry for the herky-jerky start here. Having a bunch of unexpected problems. Well, guess we're just going to have to wait. Okay, got a nice satellite trail right through there. So I guess we're going to kill that one and start over again. Alright, finally started to get a decent image here. Okay, guiding looks good. Alright, let's see. This is, which object is this again? 5466. GC 5466. Globular cluster discovered by William Herschel in 1784 and catalogued as this large dim cluster has an apparent visual magnitude of 9.2. It's relatively distant from the Sun, about 52,000 light years away. And again, you're not stacking. I detected 2 in the stacked image. The frame is less than 3 stars. Why is it detecting less than 3 stars in a... Failed to calculate alignment. What is going on here? Alright, let's try optimizing for faint stars. I seem to be having software problems. For some reason, SharpCap is not stacking any of my images. And I have no idea why. ZWO is all fine. Alignment detected. All that's good. Frame 2. That's all good. That's all good. Huh. I don't understand. Let's see if this one stacks. Yeah, it needed to stack on... Okay, so it just needed the sensitive... So it needed to have... Where is it? It needed to have optimized for faint stars checked. This thing is finicky. Sometimes this needs to be checked. Sometimes it needs to be unchecked. I don't know why. Anyway, it seems that I've solved a technical problem. Not that what you guys actually care about. Anyway, back to our object. About 52,000 light years away, and from us, and 53,000 light years from the galactic center. So, the Milky Way itself is only about 120,000 light years across. So this is about over 50,000 light years from the galactic center. So, like most globular clusters, it's a sort of a satellite of the Milky Way. Most globular clusters are, and so this one's about 50,000 light years from us. Again, I apologize for the dry cough, but it just the dregs of this cold. Let's see, anything interesting that they're saying about this? 92 blue straggler stars have been identified which show a mild central peak in distribution. Well, not really. Okay, let's see if we can probably stretch it a little more at this point, so you guys can see a little better. We still got a bit of a trail in there, but globular clusters, they're basically dense collections of stars. There are two types of clusters: globular clusters and open clusters. And globular clusters tend to be much bigger collections of stars that are pretty densely packed toward their cores, whereas open clusters just tend to be groups of stars, but they don't really have any central dense core to them. They just have they're just sort of collections of stars that appear to be all in a group to us. And but globular clusters have much more dense cores. And one theory about them is that they're captured galaxies, other galaxies that have been captured by the Milky Way, and now most of the outer stars of these little galaxies, dwarf galaxies possibly, have been stripped away, and just the cores of the galaxies are left, and that's what globular clusters are. So this one here is probably one of those. Doesn't really say how many stars are. No. They guess that they're thinking the cluster is about 12 billion light years, 12 billion years old. 12 or 13 billion years old. So it's a loose cluster with an unusually low central density compared to other globular clusters. It has a core radius of the king tidal radius is 240 light years. Anyway, blah blah blah. But globular cluster. Now we do have another globular on our list, but it's way low right now. It's too low for me to get, so I'm not going to try to do that. We got two things that have already crossed the meridian, so I might zip over and get those next, including this. Well, I think I'll probably get this guy here. Oh, these are both planetaries. Yeah, the HIP number, note there, is also a, where are you? Yeah, this is, I tagged the star on this because it's actually a planetary nebula. And I tagged the star on it because I couldn't get a target name for the planetary itself. Yeah, so let's see if we can't pull this one in. Let's try this planetary over here. The PK. These are both fairly faint. Yeah, mag 17. Whew. Yikes, that's very faint. Well, let's see if we can pull it in. Okay, there's our nice globular cluster. Let's see if we can't pull in. I think the skies are probably dark enough for us to be able to pull that in. Yeah, the headphone nebula. It's a pretty cool looking thing, but it is very faint. So, all right, we have to do a meridian flip here, and go over to the other side, which actually isn't a great thing because it means we're getting closer to the light side of the sky. But we'll have to see. Hopefully we can... okay, don't know why that's claiming it's not... it's going to say it's a couple, 2.5 degrees off, which is completely wrong. I don't know why it does this. It says it's way off when it's not way off. Then you re-slew, and it pretty much puts it right on. Okay. So, let's see if we can pull this. This is a very faint object. But that's why they call it an observing challenge, right? They're not supposed to be easy. So this is a PK. This is the PK here. Yeah, he doesn't really say much about them. Definitely going to need all 60 seconds on this one. I may even go to a longer exposure. Because this Mag 17 is really faint. Really faint. And at f6 it's going to be... I'm probably going to need longer exposures to try and pull it in. Seeing something there? I can't even tell if I'm... Alright, let's balance things off first. And then... yeah, that's them. That's the headphones right there. They are indeed there. They're a very faint object. In fact, I'll have to stretch it a little more than I normally would. But you can see right there. This is a very faint object that takes some time to pull in. Hey, Greg. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't seen you in a while. Been keeping busy from your Bortle 9 skies. Probably not much more busy than I have been, because weather hasn't been highly conducive of late. But yeah, it's a very faint object, and it really needs some time and even longer exposures to yeah, work has been a bit yeah, work too, but yeah, for me it's been mostly just weather. You know, I might even just, you know, maybe not. We'll just leave it. We'll just stack a bunch here. Hopefully we'll just stack a bunch that'll let cut the noise back. And 101 took me several weeks because of the weather, only 3 nights of data. Working on 64, the black eye tonight. This is my first night out in weeks. So, it's, yeah. Just been, well, it's spring, so things are a bit more unstable. But boy, I'm really liking the cool weather we're getting right now. Today was just beautiful. Last couple days have been pretty nice. Yesterday was a bit breezy, but it's been pretty darn nice here with the temperatures. But when we get cooler temperatures, the air also tends to be the air also tends to be a bit more unsettled. So more clouds, more rain, more wind. So it can be a little iffy. But headed to a dark sky site to try and capture the antennae out. Yeah, the antenna. 40, they're not. They are not on my list tonight. I don't think. No, I don't think the antennae. We have a couple other pairs of. Now we have the Waterbug. 4298. What are the actives? Copeland. No, but we don't have the antenna. The antennae. I think the antennae were just done a couple of weeks ago on the challenge. I think we did them. Sorry, a couple of months ago. We had the antenna on our list, so they're not on them tonight. Yeah, the antenna is nice. A couple of they're cool. I think I just did them a couple of months ago. I think they were on a challenge a couple of months ago, because I know I've done them recently. Really, to do this object justice, it needs a lot more time. It needs at least 3-minute exposures, if not 5, and just a lot more time on the object because it is very faint. But you can see it here. I think it's good enough that you can sort of see the headphones right there. And this is a planetary nebula, which means it's basically a star in its death process, blowing off its outer layers of gas and illuminating those layers as they expand and blow off away from the star, which creates these big colorful nebulae, which way back when they were first discovered, ooh, look at that, a crisscross of satellites. Way back when they were, get rid of those, when they were first discovered, the astronomers then, who had, not anywhere near the telescope technology we have today, knew that they weren't stars, knew that they were too big to be stars and they had too much color, so thought they were planets, and so called them planetary nebulae. And now of course we know they have nothing to do with planets, but the name has stuck. Really? Maybe I'm making up that I did the antenna a couple of months ago. I could have sworn I did. Maybe it wasn't on YouTube. Maybe I did it on NSN. I'm not sure. Well, if you're requesting I do them, I will definitely take a look at them. What is it? 4038. Let's see where they are. And you see 4038. There we are. Yeah, it's low. Actually, it's right next door to 4361, which I am going to be doing tonight. So, yeah, we can do those. I'm going to try and hit the things on the east side of the meridian and try and flip and stay over here as much as I can. It's going to be a bit of a race, though. I've got 2 already across. 2 more about to cross, so I don't know, I might be stuck on the west side here for a bit. But at least I'm high in the sky, so that's pretty good. Oh, blocked by your house. Cool. Well, I will definitely do it tonight. So a little info on this nebula. It's a 14th magnitude planetary nebula in the constellation of Lynx, at a distance of 1,600 light years away from us. It's a larger planetary with low surface brightness. The 16.8 magnitude central star is a very blue white dwarf. I think that's it right there, in fact. I think that's it right there. Discovered in 1939 by Rebecca Jones and Richard M. Emberson. Its PK designation comes from the names of the Czechoslovakian astronomers Lubos Perek and Lubos Kutek, who in 1967 created an extensive catalog of all the planetary nebulae known in the Milky Way as of 1964. Yeah, well, they got some nice pictures of it in here, which of course probably involved a lot more time and big exposures to make happen. But well, at least tonight we can get sort of an idea. Does it have any narrow band in it? I don't know. I've never tried doing it with the write-up here on Wikipedia does not indicate whether it's got any specific narrow band in it. But I mean, most planetary nebulae do respond pretty well to filters. So, you know, I would assume that a dual band or a tri-band probably would do pretty well on it. But not sure. Hi Eli, thanks for coming by. Yeah, I would think some level of filtration would do well with it. And I mean, I don't know if it's just strict HA like you do would show much. I would think probably at least a dual band for it. But yeah, I don't know. Don't know. But you can kind of see the headphones anyway. Just in the time where we've taken here on it, you can see the headphone shape on it. The other one we've got in here is going to be so we got this one here, there's going to be another faint planetary nebula, and then Leo 1, which is a faint dwarf galaxy next to the blindingly bright Regulus. That was also going to be a challenge. So let's move on and see if we can't pick up the next one here. We could spend quite a long time on this, but we got other objects to get to. So there go the headphones. Let's now get to this one here, which I've picked the star because the star shows up in the catalog, whereas the nebula I couldn't find a designation for it. So where are you? There you are. Okay. Let's make sure we're more or less on here. You can probably hear in the microphone I got a little bit of a breeze picking up. Why is this moving? Not sure why this is moving. This is not supposed to be moving. Well, thank you, Hudsonism. I'm glad you trust me so much. Actually having some interesting little technical issues tonight. But, I don't know. Staying with it, so the guiding all of a sudden is going nuts. Probably from the breeze. J03, there's some other time. It's already in the northeast side of the meridian. So it's in the Vegas muck, northwest side. Yeah. Oh, we can see it. Look at that. And for some reason I'm getting streaky stars because the guiding is just going nuts. I'm not sure. In fact, I'm just going to it's just spiraled completely out of control. So I'm going to try starting the guiding again. Clearing this. See what happens here. Something very wacky's going on. Maybe it's just the breeze, I'm not sure. Something definitely wacky happened there. Sometimes the guiding just needs to be stopped and restarted. It tends to lose itself a bit. I'll try and clear this. Hopefully get a better, less streaky image here. Yeah, that's a bit better. Anyway, you can see the planetary nebula right here with the star right next to it, illuminating it. So another faint planetary nebula, but kind of a pretty one with the star right next to it, and this nice yellow star offsetting the blue of the star in its planetary nebula. This one will probably be a bit easier to see once we get a few subs in. And we'll just leave it. It's a little noisy right now, but that'll clean up. I'll back it off a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit breezy and a little cool tonight. I'm actually wearing my winter gear tonight. I didn't put the batteries in the jacket or the pants. I won't need the batteries, but I am wearing the winter jacket and pants tonight because just with this breeze, it's just a little bit chilly. So wonderful to have. Is a wonderful problem to have in late April out here when it can easily be 100 already. So we'll take it. Back tomorrow. I'm going on a nice long bike ride with some friends. So we're getting down to the time of the year where if we're going to do any bike riding, it has to be basically at sunrise pretty soon because it's so hot during the day. But we're not there yet, thankfully. Got some nice, cool weather upon us. Don't know that we'll be able to pick out a whole lot of texture in this nebula. You can kind of see there's a little bit of an open spot there. It's a little denser here. So, maybe. Maybe. Do we have a... he called it some name. Abel 33. Yeah. Abel 33. Unfortunately, Stellarium thinks Abel 33 is some entirely different... It thinks it's like a galaxy cluster or something. So, I'm not sure what goofy catalog they Abel 33. Yeah, it goes to a cluster of galaxies in the southern hemisphere. So, I'm not sure where it's getting that, because that's not what Abel 33 is. But, whatever. So that's why I had to pick the star as the target for our list, because it's I didn't have a target name for this particular planetary nebula. Abel 33 doesn't seem to agree with Stellarium. And I forgot to start the tunes, so you guys have a little something to listen to instead of me. Tunes are good. Thanks, Ray. Welcome to the broadcast. Again, I will apologize for my my little cough that I've got. I had a pretty good cold last week, and I've pretty much kicked it, but I've still got this annoying little dry cough that's hanging around. So I'll be doing more coughing than normal during our broadcast tonight. So apologize ahead of time. But this is Abel 33, a nice little planetary nebula. Let's see if Wikipedia has it right. 33. Yes, they do. I wonder why just Stellarium has it wrong. Also called the Diamond Ring Nebula. Faint spherical planetary about 2,700 light years away from us in Hydra, the constellation Hydra. It lies just behind the star HD 83535, which is that star right there, which has no relation whatsoever to the nebula. However, it is responsible for the diamond ring effect that you can see here. So it's sort of like a ring here, and there's the diamond at the top. So it's nowhere near. They're actually not together at all, but they look like they're visually paired to us. So it's called the diamond ring, which is kind of cool. The nebula gets its coloration from the oxygen-3 emission, doubly ionized oxygen. So there you go, Greg. This one will be O3 if you go for this one. The nebula is faint, making it difficult to be seen using a telescope. The spherical shape is mainly caused by its central star not having much of a spin. The nebula shares similar morphology to another nebula with the same spherical shape, the Owl Nebula, but is much darker than the Owl Nebula. Yeah, the Owl Nebula, which is greenish in color as well, and it's up by Ursa Major. One of the Messier objects, M97 is the Owl Nebula. Alright, let's... Yeah, what Ray said. Thanks for the thumbs up, Ray. Appreciate it. Always nice to get a little YouTube love. See if I can't stretch this a little more. You can see a little bit better. We get enough subs in now to take a lot of the noise away, so we can start stretching it a little bit harder. Yeah, I think this is coming out a little bit better than the headphones did. Got a little more contrast on this one. Of course, now as I say, all I've got is a little dry cough. Now I start sneezing and my nose running. The other nice thing about spring is the allergens in those breezes. Yay. Alright. Yeah, this one's coming up pretty nice. You can actually see a little bit of texture in here. Just a little bit starting. If you look at the pictures, it actually does look a lot like the owl. There's actually two sort of like a bandit mask thing going on in here. Just like the Owl Nebula. So, except this one's just a pretty blue color instead of the greenish color of the owl. Pretty cool. Triple Galaxy and Draco, are they all interacting with each other, Ray? 81, 82, and 85. Cool. Well, there's the Diamond Ring Nebula. I think that's a pretty good image of it. Obviously, like anything else, we could spend a lot more time on a faint object like this to really make it stand out a bit more, but we got lots of other objects to do, so we're going to be moving on. But that is a pretty cool looking nebula. I like that one. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Okay, right next door is the dwarf galaxy, so I guess we'll... This one is a bit tough. This one here, the dwarf galaxy is out here. It's faint. Regulus is absolutely blinding. So, what I try and do is pick an object that will hopefully... Yeah, maybe something like that. Or hopefully Regulus is out of the field of view, and just the dwarf galaxy is there. And we'll give that a shot. We'll give that a shot and see what we get here. Where are you? There you are. If I don't wait for it to come in, my plate solving doesn't work right. Okay. 0.17 degrees. Okay. And we're getting a weird optical aberration from Regulus over here. All right, let's see what we can get from this sucker. It is a challenge, definitely, no doubt about that. It's a challenge trying to get such a faint object next to such an incredibly bright object. But we'll see what we can do. I have gotten it before. I don't remember if it was with this setup or with the Hyperstar. I think it was with this setup. I tried to get Leo 1. So, anyway, we'll see. We'll see how we do. The guiding is wackadoodle again. Yeah. Yep, so obviously Regulus way over here, blindingly bright, and here is Leo 1. Jeez. Well, I suppose I could try. Put the center out there. Yeah, you're not gonna do. Let's try you again. Okay, let's clear you. And then let's get rid of you and see if we can't move Regulus a little bit further off to the right. Good evening, Paul. So, okay, so that group is, now did that get better or get worse? You know, I don't, for some reason, the pixel centering tool doesn't seem to work right anymore. I think, well, I don't know. Did it move? Well, it certainly did not get better. That's strange. Why did it do that? Okay. Let's try it again. Let's move it even further. Yes. Don't ask for confirmation. Just do it. Okay, so now we gotta start over again. Guider is very unhappy. Gotta start it all over again. Okay, now I gotta clear this again. And we're gonna start over again. I had problems with the pixel positions tool last time. You move the center over and it moves it the wrong way, and you move it the other way and it moves it the wrong way. No matter which way you do it, it seems to move it the wrong way. It used to work really well, and now I don't know, I can't seem to make it work right. Wow. Well, it does look like it's moving everything off to the side, but the optical aberration is getting worse and worse. Well, I'm not sure what to do about that. Move Regulus closer? I don't honestly know what to do about that. I don't know. I've never had this much trouble with this one before. I don't always get it very well, but I've never had this kind of trouble before. Seems to be a night of new problems. Let's see what happens if I just center the object itself. It seems that the more I put Regulus in the picture, the better the stupid thing gets. Okay. Fine. I can do that. My laptop needs food. Okay. Come on, is it? There it is. So, it seems that I just need to put Regulus in the picture. Okay. But you can see the dwarf galaxy there. And see if we can't get a few more subs of it. It seems that it's just best to keep Regulus in the image. Putting it off the image creates some sort of weird optical aberration in the telescope's optics. So, well, we'll see what we can get with this. It's taking us so long. I'm going to end up having to just stay on the eastern side of the meridian, because by the time I'm getting done with these objects, more stuff is coming across. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to get ahead of it. We've done. Let's see. We did this one. We did this one. We did this one. Isn't there one down on the south? No, I guess. Yeah. So now we've got this one as well that's crossed. By the time that one's crossed, by the time we do that one, this one will have crossed. So we're probably just going to end up staying on the east side of the west side of the meridian, which is okay. Nice thing about being on the west side of the meridian is you never have to worry about hitting the meridian. So, what's not to like? In the meantime, let's Leo 1 dwarf galaxy. Let's see what they have to say. A dwarf spheroidal galaxy in Leo. It's 820,000 light years distant from us, so about 6 times the diameter of the Milky Way away from us. It's a member of the local group of galaxies and is thought to be one of the most distant satellites of the Milky Way. It was discovered in 1950 by Albert George Wilson on photographic plates at Palomar, which were taken with the 48-inch Schmidt camera. It's located only 12 arc minutes from Regulus, the brightest star in the constellation. For that reason, the galaxy is sometimes called the Regulus dwarf. Scattered light from the star makes studying the galaxy more difficult, and it was not until the 1990s that it was detected visually. The proximity of Regulus and the low surface brightness make it a real challenge to observe. Medium-sized amateur telescopes, 15 centimeters or more, and a dark sky appear to be required for a sighting. But some reports of April 2013 tell that one observer with an 11 centimeter mini-Dops and even a refractor as small as 7 centimeters has sighted Leo 1 under very dark conditions. Some reports of April 2013 tell that one observer? Okay. It's kind of funny. Yes, Regulus definitely makes it a tough thing to do it. Its kinematic study of Leo 1 said that there's a black hole of about 3 million solar masses at the center of this galaxy. This would be significant as it would be the first time this has been done with a dwarf spheroidal galaxy. A black hole of 3 million solar masses is comparable to the mass of the Milky Way's black hole, Sagittarius A. However, Another study could not confirm this, suggesting at most an intermediate mass black hole of a few tens of thousands of solar masses. It has also been suggested Leo 1 is tidal debris stream in the outer halo of the Milky Way. This hypothesis has not been confirmed. Leo 1 is a tidal debris stream in the outer halo of the Milky Way. Okie dokie. But we're starting to individually resolve some of the stars and star clumps in there. So I think we're seeing some interesting stuff in here. We'll give it about 10 minutes and then see where we go to next. Well, it'll be 3239 next. 3239. An interacting galaxy. Hey, good evening, Ollie. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Now, Ray, where is 5982? 59,982. Draco, you said, is still rising. Okay. So, yours is still rising. Greg wanted to do the antenna galaxies, and those actually are down here, so they're still kind of on the rise, but they're coming up nicely. So, all right, we'll save those. We'll try and do both of those objects tonight. We'll try and do them both tonight. Why not? Won't spend a lot of time on things. I don't tend to usually anyway, so. But this is usually how I get Leo 1. Those earlier attempts, I guess it was just, with Regulus being further out of the field of view, it created this optical aberration that made things worse. With this particular setup on this SCT with the reducer, seems like bringing Leo closer in it actually solves a lot of the problems. Ooh, I made the big screen, huh? Cool. I am honored to be on the Jumbotron. Alright, cool. Leo 1. Moving on. Next target, 3239. I thought I already selected that. Oh, I did. Okay. Let's pop over real quick and do that one. You need food too, huh? Okay. Gotcha. Alright, so make sure you're over there. So here's a pair of interacting gal. Oh, I shouldn't have bothered to do that. I know that's such a short slew. I shouldn't have needed to late solve that. Okay, and go. 3239, interacting galaxies. Let's see, 3239. Come on, go. Let's see, what did he have to... Regular faint curved tidal tail and the numerous companion galaxies. Okay. We'll see what we can do about that. It's in a regular galaxy in the constellation Leo. It was the host of SN 2012, the first supernova discovered in 2012. Yeah, see, there's a whole bunch of galaxies in here. There's no doubt about that. We'll have to see what we can pick out. Have to get you come over there. Get you straightened out with the color a little. Alright, well, yeah, see, it's got some interesting tails coming off it here. So the galaxy was discovered in 1784 by our friend William Herschel. As part of the new energy sea, it harbors a large and relatively bright hydrogen beta region in its southeastern section that was first cataloged by Russian astronomer Boris Vorontsov-Vilyaminov as VV95b. It's believed that NGC 3239 is the result of a galactic merger with a low-mass galaxy. Distance about 86 million light-years away. For those keeping score at home, 86 million light-years. And there definitely are a host of other little galaxies in here. No doubt. But this is just sort of a weird, crabby looking thing. So the goal is to try and pick out the faint, see how much of the faint tails we can pick out of this. Need some more data. Wait for some more subs to come in. Pull up the annotation here and yeah, quite a few in there. I think the biggest challenge is going to be getting the faint tails on and all of this. So the other galaxies are popping out pretty nicely. It's a nice little field of galaxies here. There really only a few? So this is obviously a galaxy, this is obviously a galaxy, but they're so close together they're not being individually indicated. And you can probably, yeah, see if I zoom in, then they start more and more and more start being identified. There's quite a few in here, obviously. But they're so close together the annotation can't really indicate them all from this, because this is obviously a galaxy here. If we zoom in on this side. But this one may be too faint for my my catalogs. The catalogs I have installed in the annotation in SharpCap only go down to Mag 18. Otherwise, there's just too many of them and it bogs the software down. Even down to Mag 18, there's over 750,000 objects in my galaxy catalogs. So if you go to more than Mag 18, the numbers really start spiraling up, and makes the software too buggy. So I can actually see deeper than the Mag 18 catalog can show us. So we're starting to get the tails on this pretty nicely. I'm going to give it a couple extra minutes here, but yeah, you can kind of see the extra stuff here on this irregular galaxy. It's been kind of pulled apart by a collision with another galaxy, they're thinking. Definitely an interesting looking one, with lots of friends that are probably very much in the background. Let's see how far. So this one was 86 million. Some of these may be 100 or 2 or 3 million in the background. So we'll take one more sub on this. Yeah, they're also different colors, different shapes. Looks like an edge on spiral there. It looks like a face on spiral here. That's an interesting looking maybe barred spiral there. And there's an elliptical and an elliptical, and yeah, hard to tell. That might be a spiral. That's an elliptical. Just all kinds of different looking ones. Well, there's 12. I think we're seeing it pretty well. I'll just give it one last little stretch at the risk of making it a bit noisy. But yeah, you can definitely see the swirly arms of the galaxy that's been pulled out of shape. Interesting looking thing though. Pretty cool. Well, why do the arms go off to the side? They think this is a collision or a merger between two galaxies, and so when that happens, the interesting thing about two galaxies colliding, even though each one of them has hundreds of millions, if not billions of stars each, rarely do stars actually, like stars from the two galaxies collide with each other. Like there's hardly any physical collisions when two galaxies collide, because there's so much distance between all the stars. So what the reason, the effect that they have on each other isn't like physical. It isn't physical collisions. It's actually their gravity wells. The gravity of each galaxy, which is a massive, obviously, object, tears each other apart. And so they can get torn apart in all kinds of weird shapes and directions. In fact, one of the things that Greg wanted us to look at tonight was the Antennae galaxies, which are two galaxies that collided and had these two streamers coming off toward each other, because they just sort of pull each other into weird directions. So stars get sucked off into trails and streamers of all kinds of weird directions, weird shapes, weird sizes, until the gravity wells of the two galaxies kind of settle on each other and basically form one larger galaxy from this merger. And so this one is just in the process of being sort of torn apart and coming back together again. So in this case, they just appear to go off to the right side for us. Not sure why. Just how the gravity wells of the two galaxies interacted. Ron asked, I was curious if there was any reason you opt for 12 to 15 minutes of stacks. Your oldest streams you did about 10. I mean, usually I stick to 10. It depends on the object. I will do a little bit more if for fainter objects. Like this one needs a little more time. I mean, obviously everything we've done, the two planetaries, I could have spent 60 minutes on each one of those trying to clean them up. So the fainter objects I usually go a little bit longer. The brighter objects like star clusters and things I go much shorter on. So that's the only reason to my madness is just the fainter things need more time, and they quite frankly need more time than I can do in a live stream. But got to see what we can see. So anyway, a very cool galaxy. So let's move on from this one. And okay, 3230. We got somebody else coming across yet? We haven't. Okay. Well, then maybe we can actually flip over the meridian and start knocking some of this other stuff off. Okay. 3978. That's probably the same object. 3945. A galaxy. Okay. Meridian flip. Hopefully we can just stay on the east side for the rest of these objects, because I think everything else we want to see is over there. Just a little bit. Okay, so you see 3945. Let's see what he had to say about this. Barred lenticular with a faint outer ring. Okay. 3945. Barred lenticular, that's interesting. So, discovered in 1790 by our old buddy William Herschel. It has a complex structure with two concentric bars and a pseudobulge. Not just a regular bulge, but a pseudobulge. It's kind of an interesting looking one. Yeah, look at that. So it's a two concentric bars. Yeah, it almost looks like there's one there and one there. Almost like a cross. Unlike classical bulges, which are like miniature elliptical galaxies. Pseudobulges have features similar to disk galaxies, including a flattened structure and significant rotation. The formation history of NGC 3945 is likely quite complex, with the pseudobulge being formed gradually from disk material, while bulges, spheroidal components, would have formed from violent merger events. It's likely this galaxy has a small central black hole. Small central black hole, if any black hole at all. I may not even have one. Okay. Yeah, we're starting to get the both rings. Sort of the inner ring, and then we're getting this very faint outer ring too. Definitely a bar in there. Almost looks like one this way too. I don't know, hard to tell. We need some more subs. Thanks, Paul. I think it's probably smoothed out enough now that we can stretch it a little more. But you can definitely see the two rings, the inner and outer rings on there. Pretty cool looking galaxy. A barred lenticular. Not something I'm used to seeing very much. Okay. So, there we are. Cool little image. Alright. 45. What else have we got? Anybody else who's getting close? Not really yet. $59.82. Let's see if we can hit Ray's thing. We're right next to Draco. $59.82. And you see $59.982. Alright. Right down in here, huh? Oh yeah, look at that. Draco Triplet. Okay. Let's do it. Oops, forgot to do this first. Surprisingly long slew for a fairly short distance, but when you get close to the Polaris, when you get close to the celestial pole, slewing gets a little weird. Alright, you get in there. The Draco Trio. I don't know that I've ever done the Draco Trio before. Thank you for the suggestion, Ray. Let's back off on that stretch a little bit. $59.82. Elliptical, it's about 130 million light years from Earth. And is approximately 100,000 light years across, so a little bit smaller than the Milky Way. Discovered by our old buddy William Herschel in 1788. It has a kinematically decoupled nucleus. Its major axis being nearly perpendicular to the rotation of the galaxy. Yeah, look at the three of them. So this is 5982 here. It's an elliptical, edge-on elliptical, and a face-on elliptical. Excuse me, edge-on spiral, face-on spiral. Just as Ray said. Coolies. So, bonus objects. Thanks to our friend Cosmic Ray. get some more subs in, and then we'll see about zooming in on them. See what detail we can get out of each one of them. And I don't want to jinx it, but the breeze has stopped. And it's just beautiful. Knock on wood. Knock on wood that it stays that way. They were saying it was going to die off. I think it took longer than they expected. Great color in this top one too. Blue spiral arms with a sort of a yellowish star color. Wow, yeah, that's great. Get out there and do some high power viewing. I know it was supposed to calm down here tonight, so it finally did. It was supposed to do it, I thought, earlier, but hey, I'll take it now. Just fine with me. It's turned into perfect night. It's actually not even that cool. Well, of course, when the wind stops, it feels warmer, so it's pretty darn nice. My Bortle, about 2.5-ish, high 2, low 3. So I call it Bortle 2.5. I'm about 80 miles outside of Las Vegas, so the eastern sky, about the first 25 degrees or so of the eastern sky is kind of the light dome of Vegas. But the rest is pretty dark. So, and I'm basically on the west side of my house, so my house blocks most of that light dome anyway from here. So, yeah, I call it about Bortle 2.5. Got about six subs, eh? Can we see it? I don't know. See much of a dust lane there? Not really. I don't know. It's hard to tell if there's a dust lane there on the edge of the galaxy. And we're looking just underneath a dust lane. So we're looking just underneath the bottom plane of the galaxy to the central bulge there. Hard to tell. I'm zoomed in way more than I should be, but it's kind of hard to tell. But it looks like we're looking just under, it's almost perfectly edge on. We're looking just underneath to the central bulge of the galaxy, and we're seeing the dust lanes just around the top. Lenticular here. Not much to see in those. Those typically don't have a lot of interesting details. But this one's pretty cool looking. Another galaxy off to the side here. This one's pretty darn cool though. Yeah, the Mojave, well that's basically what I'm in. I'm in kind of the extreme eastern end of the Mojave. So yeah, it's great for great for stargazing. Can get warm though this time of year, so be careful, but it's pretty nice out here for the most part. We have our weather challenges, like all places do. Summers get a bit warm. But obviously out in the wide open spaces like this, wind is always an issue. But it's pretty good for astronomy. Skies aren't too bad. Seeing isn't too bad usually. So currently we're doing the, per Ray's suggestion, we're doing the Draco Trio. And this one is specifically, you see 5985. Oh, they do have this, actually, it's a Mag 17.5. So this is the Draco Trio, so it's 5985, 5982, and 5981. Are the three objects that we are imaging at present. The Draco Trio. Until Ray suggested it, I don't think I ever even heard of the Draco Trio. But three interesting galaxies. Well, the lenticular in the middle is, lenticulars are not terribly interesting, but it's three cool looking galaxies. The bottom one is almost like a mini sombrero. I didn't really zoom out to see what. I guess there's only 4 that they have listed. I think some of these others, like this here, seems to be one. But I don't know the galaxy. It should be bright enough to be in the catalog. Huh. No, it's not bright enough to be in the catalog, but clearly that's a galaxy, not a star. Oh well. Got one here, got one here. Thought there'd be more than that. Well, clearly there are more than that, but my catalogs don't have them. So, cool. Well, that's a nice bonus object. Thank you, Ray, for suggesting it. Let's move on back to our list here. Nice bonus object. We'll get the antenna galaxies later. Greg wants to get those. But I think those are... okay, we did 3945. We've also done 5466. So we're kind of working our way through here. Yeah, so next we want to do 5033. 5033 was next, I think. The Waterbug galaxy. Another active. Yeah, I think we're okay to do that. We're not going to hit the meridian anytime quickly with these guys. So let's go ahead and just kind of get them in a little bit of geographical order here. Waterbug galaxy. Right on. Okay. Hey Mike, good evening. Welcome to the show. We just moved on to the Waterbug galaxy, 5033. So, let's see if what did he write anything about that? The nucleus is very bright, but the real challenge is to bring out the outer spiral arms, which are very faint. Okay. Challenge accepted. The Waterbug galaxy. Oh yeah, boy, it does have some outer spirally, wispy things going on. Look at that. Alright. We can do this. Whoa. Okay, that went way out of control. Alright, let's do that. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, there's lots of wispy stuff in there. Alright, cool. And this is 5033, yes? Waterbug, yeah. Let's see what this has to... Wikipedia has to say. 5033. An inclined spiral galaxy. Located in the constellation Canis Venatici. Distance estimates vary between 38 and 60 million light years away. It has a very bright nucleus and relatively faint disk. Significant warping is visible in the southern half of the disk. The galaxy is relatively large angular size and relatively high surface brightness, making an object that can be viewed and imaged by amateur astronomers. The galaxy's location relatively near Earth. And its active galactic nucleus make it a commonly studied object for professional astronomers. The galaxy's location relatively near Earth? I have no idea what that means. It has a Seyfert nucleus, which is an active galactic nucleus. Like other active galactic nuclei, this galaxy's nucleus is thought to contain a supermassive black hole. Bright emissions seen in visible light as well as other wavebands is partially produced by the hot gas in the environment around this black hole. The kinematic center of the galaxy is not located at where the Seyfert nucleus is, which indicates this has probably undergone a galactic merger. NGC 5033 and the nearby spiral galaxy NGC 5005 comprise a physical galactic pair. Do I have 5005 in here? Where's 5005? Not that. Okay, let's and you see 5,005. Boom. Oh, right there. Okay. Yeah, so I can't get both of these in the same image. They're a little too far apart for my field of view. I can only get one at a time. But there's 5005 up there. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to see it. But these form a physical galactic pair. The two galaxies weakly influence each other gravitationally, but they are not yet close enough to each other to be distorted by the tidal forces of their gravitational interaction. Oh, 4182 is also a member, which is what we just had up here. This one here, 4182, is also a member. So these three, 1, 2, 3, I guess are part of a gravitational pairing up. They done be hooking up gravitationally. Alright, cool. Get one little tweak on that, and clean this up a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely see some inner spiraling going on here, and then the wispy outer stuff slightly distorted, out of shape. It's distorted out of its planar, out of a planar shape by perhaps a merger, or maybe something else. But pretty cool galaxy. Pretty cool looking deal. cool. I think we're got about all out of that we're going to get out of it. Maybe one little last stretch. At the risk of being a bit noisy, but yeah. Definitely got some outer wispiness, and you can definitely see how misshapen this part of it is. Compared to the rest of it, seems to be pretty plainer. This definitely seems to be warped out of shape over here. So, pretty cool. Alright, next. Objet. 32. We've done that one, so let's do Caldwell 32. This would be the whale and pup, and just selected the pup for whatever reason. Anyway, that's fine. The whale and pup. Can I do the... Can I get the hockey stick in there too? I don't think I can now. When I'm using the hyperstar, I certainly can, but too small a field of view. All right, so the whale galaxy next. Let's get the whale galaxy going here. Okay. In fact, I'm not even going to bother to plate solve because I'm sure it's pretty darn close. So this will be the whale and pup. Is this starting over? What's happening here? That was weird. Why did the frame start over again? That was very weird. Alright, anyway. Come on. The Bird Spiral Galaxy, 30 million light years away from Earth, so not too far away. Stacked. Why did... Huh? What just happened? It looks like it just completely ignored the stack. Clearing stack. Guiding resumed. Clearing stack. Guiding is resumed. Why does the stack keep getting cleared? Is there something wrong with... More technical problems. I thought we moved past this. So 37, 40... And now this one, it does. That was just bizarre. I don't know what the heck happened there. Anyway, the whale and pup. Back off just a little bit. Get rid of a little bit of the noise. this the Whale Galaxy has some neat details in it that'll come in here as we get some more subs. Anyway, 30 million light years away. Take the lens cover off. Yeah, I won't admit to that happening to me at all, ever. No, this was discovered by guess who in 1787. The galaxy's slightly distorted wedge shape gives it the appearance of a herring or a whale, hence its nickname. Because this nearby galaxy is seen edge on, professional astronomers observe this galaxy to better understand the gas and stars located outside the plane of the galaxy. Let's see what else. So many supernovae have exploded in the center of this galaxy that they are blowing gas out of the plane of the galaxy. This superwind can be seen in X-rays and in the spectral line emissions. Gas from the superwind has produced a giant diffuse corona of hot X-ray emitting gas around the whole galaxy. I guess those would be whale farts. Superwind from blowing gas out because of so many supernovas. Okay. 46 NGC 46 has a nearby companion, the dwarf elliptical galaxy 4627, the pup. These were listed in the ARP galaxy catalog as a double galaxy or a galaxy pair. Chuck and Susie say hi. Well, hi right back at you, Chuck and Susie. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, this one's a nice. This is a pretty cool one. There's a lot of detail in this one. It's a fairly bright object, obviously, and because we're looking at it directly edge on, there's a lot of dust lane stuff around the edges that we get to see the details of, which is kind of cool. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Showed up for a pretty good object. Thanks, Paul. Stupid cord. Cables and cords, I got too many of them. Okay, so I wanted to check on Greg's antenna galaxy 4038. Ooh, yeah, see, we're almost, dang. Okay, I think we can pop onto the antenna galaxies here really quick. We don't need really much more time on the whale and pup. They are a very cool galaxy with lots of nice detail in them. So it's a pretty cool deal, but I want to get over to the antenna galaxy before they pop over the meridian. This would be a good time to do it while I'm over here. Faint thing, but they are a very cool pair of interacting galaxies. So let's see how we can pick off. In contrast to the whale and pup, which are fairly bright, contrasty objects, these are going to be more like the other ones we've looked at, more faint and wispy. There are two galaxies that have merged or collided recently, and gravitationally, they're kind of pulling each other apart. So, 4038 Antennae galaxies. Pair of interacting galaxies in the constellation Corvus, currently going through a starburst phase in which the collision of clouds of gas and dust with entangled magnetic fields causes rapid star formation, discovered by our old buddy William Herschel in 1785. The antennae galaxies are undergoing a galactic collision. These interacting galaxies are located yeah, there we go. Yeah, see what you're going to see here. It's just a tiny little one little antenna going off there, one going off here. As we collect more subs, you'll be able to see that obviously easier, but for the time being, just make it a little less noisy. But that's the challenge with these. The cores are fairly bright, but getting the wispy antennae to show up, that's what usually takes a little time. So we will give it that time. Thank you, Greg, for the suggestion. A 2008 study found that they are less remote from the Milky Way than previously thought, and only 45 million light years away, not 65 million. These two galaxies are known as the Antennae galaxies because of the two long tails of stars, gas, and dust ejected from the galaxies as a result of the collision, which resemble an insect's antennae. The nuclei are joining to become one giant galaxy. Most galaxies probably undergo at least one significant collision in their lifetimes. This is likely the future of our Milky Way when it collides with the Andromeda galaxy. Galaxies are going to collide, which is called the Tomb Ray sequence, was developed in part by modeling what happened with these two antennae galaxies as they collided. So, the study of these is helping us see what's going to happen. Maybe when we collide in a couple of billion years with the Andromeda galaxy. For some reason, my dithering is not connected to guiding. Why is it saying it's not connected to guiding? PhD. These are all right. Everything looks right here. I'm not sure why it's claiming it's not connected to guiding. Clearly guiding, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It's claiming it's not connected to guiding when clearly it's connected to guiding. Well, for some reason I'm not getting any dithering tonight. I don't know why it's I don't know. Looks like SharpCap has some sort of bug. Okay, well anyway, that's 11 minutes on it. I think we can clearly see that there are the antennae sticking off there. You know, again, this is one of those objects with very faint things that could stand a lot more time on them. And Greg, I'm sure you will spend a lot more time on it than this. But yeah, so this is the Antennae nebula. The nuclei are just colliding nicely, but there's streamers of stars that come off both directions from this collision. And so they're called the Antennae galaxies. So, very cool. Oh, and we've already crossed the meridian too, so... Oh, well, you know what? I wonder if that's why we're, I wonder if that's why the guiding says it stopped. Because we've crossed the meridian. Oopsies. That could be the problem. Okay, anyway, back to our list. Back to our list, we'll do the one right next to her, which is 4631. The Lawn Sprinkler Nebula. And thank you for the suggestion, Greg. That was very cool to do the antennae. I thought I had done it recently, but maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so we're doing what? 4361? Let's see if we can see. 4361. It's a planetary. Oh, this is another planetary. Oh, this is a Herschel 400. This is a planetary nebula around a Wolf-Rayet star. Oh yeah, look at that little guy. Maybe we'll back it off a titch until we get a little bit more data. temperature of this star, this Wolf-Rayet star, is 126,000 Kelvin. It's nearly 18,000 times brighter than our Sun, but is only 6% of its size. Talk about an intense sucker that is. 18,000 times brighter than the Sun, but only 6% of its size. Wow. It's an extremely hot Wolf-Rayet star. They create some interesting looking shapes. The Dolphin Head Nebula is a really nice Wolf-Rayet, as is Thor's Helmet, is also a Wolf-Rayet. Two of my favorite objects to image. It creates some interesting looking stuff. The challenge on this, is just the core is so bright and the outer wispiness is so faint that we got a little galaxy going on in here too. A little galactic action. Let's see if we got an ID on this. Let's try plate solving you in the right place. PGC 864871, Mag 16-6 galaxy. That's what it looked like. Nice little edge-on spiral. Alright, well, we'll see what we can pull together. This one, it's like it's just gallery, yeah. Pretty cool. Give this a few minutes. Meanwhile, let's look and see how we're doing here. Yeah. Unfortunately, I might have... I'm getting a little close on some of these things. In fact, I might have to leave this right now if I'm not gonna pop over the border. Ooh, this one's gonna be tough. This one's really south. Caldwell 77. It's one of the southern targets. He picked 3 southern targets. And this one, the hamburger galaxy, Centaurus A, is a galaxy I can get. But it's really low. Really low. Is now coming in my face, which is pretty interesting. We're not supposed to get northerly breezes tonight, so this is a weird aberration. It went from a southerly, then went dead for a while, and now it's turned to becoming a little bit of a northerly. Object. But I'm running out of time because now M87 is going to be... Where did you go? Where am I? Yeah, M87 is going to be crossing the meridian. I got Or I guess 4298 is crossing the meridian. I've got so much stuff knocking on the door here. I've got to get to this guy before he crosses. Or I'm going to be chasing things back across the west side of the meridian again. So, there is... that one. Let's get back up here and do 4298. Very close to the meridian. May not be able to spend more than a few minutes on this. Let's see what he said about 4298. One of the most spectacular pairs of galaxies. Okay. Flocculent spiral, 53 million light years away, discovered by our buddy William Herschel in 1784. It may harbor an intermediate mass black hole. Look at that. Appears to form a pair with, did you see 4302? Yeah, so there's 4302, so these two form a pair. Let's, see a cool edge-on spiral. This is a nice pair. Nice edge-on with a perfectly edge-on. The dust lanes splitting the central bulge very nicely. Two galaxies are separated from a projected distance. Two galaxies are separated from a projected distance. I think I need to edit this. Two galaxies are separated by 36,000 light years. Anyway. Connected to guiding. Why is this claiming it's not connected to guiding? It's clearly monitoring the guiding application. It's clearly controlling it. Guiding status not connected to guiding. Why is it saying that? Guiding is clearly working. Guiding has been resumed. Huh. I don't get it. I don't understand why I'm having this error message. Well, I'm just not getting any dithering tonight for some reason. Because it's falsely claiming it's disconnected from guiding. Not connected to guiding. Why are you saying that? Cannot dither, no connection to guiding. On a guiding application. I don't know. That's bizarre. Everything is working. I don't know why it's claiming it's not working. The meridian. The rest of this stuff is getting close to the meridian, so I just can't spend very much time on this. It's too bad. This is a couple of nice looking galaxies, but I'm going to be banging into it. Where am I? Do it in a couple more minutes. But the longer I take on this, the less time I have on the next thing, because they're all like jammed together right here. So this is a couple of nice objects. This is a couple of very nice objects. Again, spending time on this stuff, it's cool. There's 10 minutes on these guys. It's a nice looking pair of galaxies, actually. That is a pretty cool one. They're both really nice in their own way. Very cool. Okay, moving on. Whoop, wrong one. M87. Yeah, M87. Virgo A. This is a massive galaxy. I think there's several trillion stars in this galaxy. I think it's one of the biggest galaxies we're aware of. Are you putting up any error messages? No, you're just guiding along fine. Now he didn't put Virgo cluster. Yeah, so I think for wide field viewers, I just put M87 here, but I think the Virgo cluster is just kind of all this stuff, which obviously we're not going to be able to get. But interesting, this is just a massive galaxy. Just massive, massive galaxy. But the interesting thing about it is the relativistic jet that shoots out of it, which sometimes I can get and sometimes I can't. So we'll see what happens. I'll give it a few subs. See if I can't see it. Might be it there. See if we can see the jet. Won't spend much time on it because we have to go to the next object already, which is again knocking on the door of the meridian. So kind of racing against time here. Called a supergiant elliptical. Contains several trillion stars, one of the largest and most massive galaxies in the local universe. It has a large population of globular clusters. Remember, we started the night looking at globular clusters. There's about 150 to 200 in our Milky Way. This galaxy has about 15,000. And a jet of energetic plasma that originates at the core and extends at least 1,500, or at least 5,000 light years out, traveling at relativistic speeds. It's one of the brightest radio sources in the sky and a popular target for both amateur and professional astronomers. This actually might be it here. I can't really tell from the pictures. They have a Hubble image of it in the Messier article, in the Wikipedia article, but it doesn't really show the jet. It's hard to tell from this what the jet is. It is a little clumpy. I suppose this could be it. Kind of hard to tell. The relativistic jet extends 5,000 light years from the nucleus and consists of matter ejected from a supermassive black hole. The jet is highly collimated, appearing constrained to an angle of 60 degrees. At about 16 degrees of 2 pi, blah 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 blah. It's powered by the prograde accretion disk around the spinning supermassive black hole. Can't really tell very well where it's from the Hubble image. The Hubble image is so different in terms of resolution. It's kind of hard to really tell. So sometimes I can see it, sometimes I can't. Tonight, inconclusive. And now we've already crossed again, and so 4635. Too late. 4635 is already on the meridian. See, we did 5634, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna have to skip 4535 because I can't get there. It's already on the meridian and I haven't even done it yet. So, just can't get there. So I did 5466, right? Yes. This is the one I haven't, so let's do this one. 5634. Yeah. Go. Okay. 5634. This is a glob, so this won't take much time. Guiding is going absolutely bonkers again. Yeah, guiding is just totally wackadoodle. Wow. Why is this so far off? That's a terrible sub. Let's try that again. Is this so far off? I guess I didn't plate solve. Dull. Okay, undo this, start again. Did not plate solve this for whatever reason. Okay, let's try this again. Why the guiding is wacky, but hey, Ron, better late than never. Yeah, I don't know why the guiding is like, I'm not sure why I'm getting streaky stars. The guiding has been a little off, but this should be okay now, so I'm not sure why we're getting streaky stars here. For some reason the guiding does not seem to be, well, it seems to be working, but it's not working, so I don't know, it's just very weird. It's like the third or fourth sub, and still I'm getting streaked stars. There, that's the first most. I mean, even this, it's still, they're still all ovally, but this is the best one I've gotten, so we're just gonna roll with it. But anyway, this is a glob. Where are we? We are here, 5634. 634. It's 82,000 light years away. Its cluster shows intermediate rich concentration. Yeah, there's a bright orange giant star. Just near the cluster, so yeah, this bright orange star in here. It's an orange giant. guiding is, our dithering is just completely not working all of a sudden. Not sure what's going on here. Well, now it says it is. Did that dither? I didn't notice it dither. Did it dither? Yeah, okay, apparently it dithered that time. This is saying it's guiding. Why is it suddenly guiding now when it didn't guide? It was claiming it wasn't connected before. I didn't change anything. Software. Live by the software. Live by the software, die by the software. So, about 82,000 light years away. This was once likely a member of the Sagittarius dwarf spheroidal galaxy. The galaxy itself is being pulled apart by tidal forces from the Milky Way. Being pulled apart by the Milky Way itself. Reduce this down a bit. See a little bit more of the core without it being blown out. Yeah, and the hamburger is just about in the perfect spot. This is going to be a tough one. This one could be a tough one. It's so low. Well, it's one of the southern targets. But it's... Centaurus A is just such a nice galaxy. And I have done it before, so I can do it. It's just really low on the horizon. Really, really low. But this is a nice little glob, but I don't think we need to spend more time on it than that. Globs are pretty quick. And you had iffy guiding tonight too, huh, Ron? Well, yep. I seem to have decent seeing, but I don't know. I'm having software weirdness. So, I'm not sure what's up with that. Okay, 5128. Let's head down there, which is going to basically be pointing right at my head. Yep, so it's pointing right at my head. So I'm going to have to stay down out of the way. This is about 10 degrees above my horizon. Right about 10 degrees. So it's very low, very much in the soup, and hopefully not being blocked by a telephone pole or power line. Actually, I think it's too low for the power lines. Okay, well, we'll have to see how this goes. I'm going to have to stay ducked down and out of the... In fact, I'm going to move my chair because it's literally pointing right at my head. So I'm going to try and it'll get actually reflection off me from the computer screens. So I'll move to the side and see what we can see. So this is the Centaurus A, also called the Hamburger Galaxy, not to be confused with the Hamburger Galaxy that's part of the Leo Trio. They're both called the Hamburger Galaxies, but this is the Southern Hemisphere Hamburger Galaxy, whereas the one in the Leo Trio is the Northern Hamburger, I guess. Oh, and there it is. Boy, look at the guiding is just... Yikes. Yep, it's just totally whack job. So that first sub is definitely going to go away. Hopefully by the second or third sub this will have settled. For some reason it's taking a long time to settle out tonight. Not sure why, but it is. It's a pretty cool looking galaxy though. It definitely is that. Yes, that's better. It's still not great, but it's better. Well, this low on the horizon is, yeah, it's tough to guide when it's this low and in this much crapola. See, I don't even think it's on any stars right now. Okay, let's try this again. Give it a try for a few subs. If we can't get any decent enough guiding that I can actually have non-streaked stars, and we'll give it up. But it is a pretty cool galaxy. I can get it to behave. It's not terrible, but I think I'll delete that one too. We'll just go with whatever the next one is. I don't think the guiding, when it's this low on the horizon, the guiding is tough. So I think I'm just gonna delete this one and we'll just go with whatever's next. Hopefully they'll just keep improving. But streaky stars kind of do not make it look good. Next will be better, still streaky, but better. In any event, the Hamburger Galaxy, the southern Hamburger Galaxy, somehow the plate solving, even though I did it, did not center the object, but we can see it, so good enough. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I, my hand came down on the cord for my headset, so it ripped the headset off my head, and I had the mic muted, but the same thing jammed the control pod from the microphone and from the headset under the laptop, which then pushed the mute button and unmuted what I had muted. So when I cussed at the stupid thing, I guess you heard it, so sorry about that. Yeah, no, everything is fine. It just caught me by surprise and ripped my headset off my head. So, anyway, all is well now. And the hamburger is coming out pretty well, all things considered. I think the guiding kind of cleaned itself up a little bit. I haven't actually seen a scorpion yet. Hasn't gotten warm enough yet quite for them. But I've definitely the rattlers are out. The poisonous snakes are out, but I haven't seen the scorpion yet. I imagine they'll be along pretty soon. What is the number of this? Is NGC 5128, I believe. Take a look. 5128. Yeah, 5128. The hamburger is the southern hamburger galaxy. So, unless you're in a fairly southern part of the U.S. or south, it's going to be hard for you to see. Like I said, it's only about 10 degrees above my horizon, so it's a tough one even for me to get down here. So if you're not in the very southern reaches of the U.S., it's probably not visible to you. Yeah, you're in the Central Valley, so we got the big mountains and the big ditch between us. Actually, two big ditches, because Death Valley and Panamint Valley are next to each other. So yeah, are you in Fresno or Modesto, Madera, any one of the M towns on 99? Not an M town, a V town. Visalia. Cool. Cool. All right, well, there is the hamburger galaxy. The other hamburger galaxy. And the only southern target I can hit. The other two southern targets are way south. Carina and Musca. Yeah, those are way too far. So, I think the only one that I had to skip, we've done everything except 4535. We've done everything else. Yeah. So, 4535 is the only one on the list we haven't done. So, for completeness, we're going to meridian flip and get it. Boy, that was a long slew. Okay. Let's play solve on that. All right. So this is 4535, the lost galaxy of Copeland. 4535. Spiral, about 54 million light years from Earth. It's at about a 45-degree angle to us, but still you can see you can see the almost looks face on anyway. It's pretty nice. So a barred spiral, always some pretty galaxies. Kind of cool because it's this galaxy really has, well, it's a barred spiral. It only has two arms, but those two arms split into many different arms as they come further out. So it actually looks like a lot more arms from only two. Planetarians tonight. I'm on. Obviously, another galaxy out here. Multiple galaxies in this image. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are just the ones in my catalogs. So 4 little companions. But it's a cool looking galaxy. Yeah, it really is a pretty one. It's got a lot of kind of fine wispiness to it. It's a good one to finish the night on. We've done the whole list, including one of the southern targets, which is always nice to get. And 2 bonus objects. The Antennae galaxy, suggested by Greg, and the Draco trio, suggested by Ray. I'd never heard of the Draco trio before. I don't think I've ever done it. So that was kind of cool. Thank you for the suggestion of both of those things, gentlemen. It was a great addition to the night. This will be my last object. It's now after midnight, so I've been going for about 3.5 hours. Which seems to be my shtick lately. I didn't used to do such marathons, but lately it's been the way it's been working out. So, but it's been fun. And even though the night started off breezy, it's turned into a beautiful one. Again, dead calm. We had a little bit of a northerly pickup there for 15 minutes or so, but that died off again. So, just a beautiful, calm, clear night. I think the moon will be rising in about an hour, but that's alright. I'll be in long before that happens. Lost Galaxy of Copeland. 45, 35. Yeah. Lost Galaxy. It's interesting. Wikipedia does not have any reference to this being called the Lost Galaxy, or the Copeland's Lost Galaxy. So that's just something that's in Stellarium. well, I think that about wraps it up for me tonight. Thank you everyone for being here, and hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks to I'd like to thank Dob45 for the great list. It was a very nice list with some really interesting targets. And like I said, the other Ray and Greg for their suggestions for other stuff too. Thank you all for being here, and appreciate your time. And I'll see you next time. Not sure when that'll be, but I'll see you guys next time. So, thanks everybody, and good night.